Hello, I'm Kelly and welcome to my Flosstube channel, Animal Instinct. It's Sunday the 14th of May 2023 and I'm back with another cross-stitching update today. Thanks so much for spending some time with me. I hope you're well and getting some nice stitching time in. Thank you so much to all my existing subscribers and welcome if you're new. Before I get started today, I just wanted to thank you so much for all the lovely and kind comments I got on my last update. I honestly think I have the best group of subscribers on YouTube, so thank you so much to everyone who reached out. I'm doing pretty well, and Reggie, my cat, who I thought might be here, but he's snoozing in the sun again. He's doing really well. I mentioned I'd started him on some medication for a pain condition he has, and he's not so sleepy anymore. He's gotten used to it and it's really helped with his pain, so I'm really thrilled. So thank you again for all of your kind comments. Since my last stitching update, I filmed that finish parade last weekend, and that was quite fun to go through all my old finishes. I've had a few comments that one was missing, my Bee by Lorna Lane, and I didn't show that one because that one actually is fully finished, unlike the rest, but seeing I had a few comments, I've brought it to just share again. For those of you who haven't seen it before or haven't seen it in a while. So this is Bee by Lorna Lane, and you can buy this as a kit through Gecko Rouge. Very pretty, happy pattern. Also, after filming that last video, I have gone and washed the grid lines out of two of my small Gecko Rouge finishes. Now they're dry, but they need an iron. I just thought I'd show you. First I've got the Mugshot Cat, and then I've got Storytime. This one they're both 25 count Lugana. This one was done with the red grid lines, the 20 by 20 grid lines, and they came out really quickly. So I just put them both in hot water, hot soapy water. I just used some liquid detergent and I topped up with fresh hot water from the kettle a few times. And the lines came out of this one way quicker than this one, which is also 25 count Lugana, but it's the 10 by 10 grid lines, the grey ones. And I'm not sure if I'll be able to show, but in a certain light, I actually need to give this another wash because I can see the grid lines still. It's not showing on camera, I don't think. And honestly, they were in, I took this one out about, this one had I think twice as long, and the grid lines are still there a little. So that's just interesting. Though I think it'll be okay for framing, but I am going to try and get them out. I don't think it's showing. But yeah, there's kind of like a hint of them still there in certain lights. So there's a couple of things to come out of that video. Okay, so what I thought I'd do today is I've split my work into non-mermaid stitching and mermaid stitching because I am trying to stitch on mermaids in May. I'll leave all the mermaids till after I've done everything else. But let's start with a couple of finishes. I showed both of these in the finish parade, so if you watch that, you'll have already seen them. First one is Arctic Friends by Flossy Fox Shop. And this is part of the Earth Day sale through the Stitches Collective. I think this is still available until the 15th of May, so Monday. You make a donation to one of 4 charities, you show the Stitches Collective the receipt, and then you have access to 31 patterns. And I presume after the 15th you might be able to buy them separately directly from the designers, but I'm not really sure. Anyway, so this is on a royal blue Ada. It's so bright. It's not my normal sort of I don't know, colorway or anything that I'd go for, but I love it. I love it. It feels a bit retro and the colors are really pretty. And my second one is a start and a finish since last update, and it is Biodiversity Matters by PixelPixie cross stitch. This is on a 32 count homespun linen. I think it's by Lakeside Linens. I've got a heap of sort of scraps, not scraps, just small pieces about this size that I've collected over the years to get like a taste of what they look like in real life before committing to like a bigger piece for a bigger project, and they're really good for these kind of things. So this one was charted in Cosmo with a DMC conversion, and I've stitched it with a bit of both. The letters, there wasn't a DMC conversion because there's nothing sort of similar in DMC. I was in my local quilt shop for other things, and they've got the whole Cosmo range, and it's actually cheaper than DMC, which, well, DMC there, I think it's $1.95, and the Cosmo's maybe $1.65 a skein. I've got plenty of DMC already, but I like to get, I like to try a few new threads here and there. I did have to laugh. I read the pattern afterwards, and this really pretty bug beetle. The designer actually found out it's an invasive pest, so it's probably contributing to the lack of biodiversity, or the reduction, sorry, in biodiversity that's happening globally at the moment. Unfortunately, it's always the pretty ones. But yeah, it's a nice little finish. Another Earth Day sale piece. And so my plan is to, yeah, once I finish one, start on the next, and I'll just keep going until I don't feel like doing that anymore. So I have started on my next one. I'll have to pop a photo in. I've started Gaia by Quaternion Creations. And I'm doing this one on a 16 count Ada in Petals by Picture This Plus. It's another like smaller piece that I bought a while ago, just to see what it's like. It's a very, it's kind of showing there. It's a very light sort of pinky apricot, I guess, but very, very subtle. And that's my small start. I'm using Cottage Garden threads for this one. It's such a pretty colour. It's called Lyrebird Walk. Yeah. And it's this blue into green. How nice is that? Oops. And I've worked out one skein should be enough. I have my next one already kitted up too. But I'll share that when I get to it. Okay, I guess while we're on new starts, I have another new start. I have started the next in Dr. Kristi from Christie's Corner, sorry. The next one in her Medieval Marginalia series, and it is the Medieval Butt Trumpet. I'll pop a picture in here. I'm using the same 40 count linen in Swiss Coffee by Colour and Cotton as I did her nuns on, and I've made it like it's a tiny start. I don't even know if you can call it a start really, but anyway. That's my start, and that is his knee. So look forward to working on that a bit more. Oh, brief little interlude here. Here's the boy. Much happier. Well, it would be really nice if he would settle down and not push things off or stomp all over them, but we'll see. Do you want to go up there? Okay. Now on to works in progress. So I have put a fair bit of work into Love by Dany Lizeth, this one, since my last update. It's a Gecko Rouge kit, one I started on my birthday earlier this year. And I think last time I was at 18%, I think. I've done another 4,500 stitches since my last update, and I'm now at 27.2%. So hopefully I've got a photo of where I was. And here it is now. So it's on 25 count Stormy Night Lugana from Zweigart, and you still can't tell what net I'm stitching. And I'm over a quarter of the way through, on my way to a third of the way through, and still a mystery. This here is actually the back of the kitten's, yeah. This is the back of the kitten's head. And I think his body like finishes about here-ish. So I'm working my way down, and then I'll come back and do his head and we'll finally see that it's a cat. But look at the colours. I just love that. So I haven't worked on this in May, and I probably won't, which is a shame because I do like this one. Alright, my next whip is Pilgrim by Long Dog Samplers. This one. I'm trying to finish this one by the end of July, which is rapidly approaching. And I'm trying to do about 4,000 stitches a month. I haven't got there. What am I at? I've done about 1,600 stitches, so I've still got about 2,500 to go this month. That's all right. So I'll pop a photo in of where I was. And here it is now. Let's just come in. So well and truly like finished that bottom left corner, which I'm really thrilled about. I guess here you can see what I've got to go. And then so this is the bottom left corner, so that's all done. And I'm just joining up this bit. It comes sort of around to here. And we'll see what else I need to do. And I think after last month's update, I think I wasn't sure about this, and I've now learnt something new. It's called a Kelpie. So I'm going to try and get the rest of this stitching done this month. If I don't, that's okay. I've got June and July. It should be okay. There's less than 10,000 stitches to go on the whole piece, which is very exciting. I didn't say it's on 36 count platinum linen, and I'm stitching it with Silks For You PR011 and PR140. Yeah. Okay, my last non-mermaid stitching is my Lola cross stitch mystery stitch along Greenhouse of Oddities. And when I bought this pattern, the frame had already come out, but I worked out I had 6 weeks to get it done before the first proper release. And I was like, okay, 1,000 stitches a week, because it's quite a large frame. Yeah, no problem. And then I put it away and promptly forgot about it. So I've gotten it out again, brought it out again. And I think I need to be a bit strategic about trying to get this frame done. I'm not going to get it done by the first release, which I think is in 2 weeks. So I think I just need to do the bare bones of it. I'm sticking to black, but I might, yeah, just try and do the bare bones, because I have a feeling the first release might be down towards the bottom, and I'm nowhere near the bottom. This is where I'm up to. It's very nice. So I've done, I think since I last showed it, I've finished off this side, these sort of bits, and then I've come down here, but I don't think I even need to do all of that. I think I just need to do the edges of the bits, if that makes sense. It's on a 32 count linen from number 12 Stitchco in French pear. So yeah, see how I go with that. And now we're into May and mermaid stitching. So I had already intended to work on Mermaid's Folly in May, and then I saw that Jo Belushi Stitches and Emma X Stitching were doing Mermania 2023, so that fit in perfectly. So I've kind of expanded from just working on Mermaid's Folly to doing a few different pieces. But the first week of May I say focus, I think I stitched on it for 3 days. But I worked on Mermaid's Folly by Courtney collection. I'll pop a photo in of where I was at the start of the month. And my goal for the year is to finish the the column of pages just to the right of the center one, which I finished last year. So I did work on it for 3 days, and I got 2,500 stitches in. It goes pretty quickly. And I finished the first page in the column. Here she is now. So this is on 40 count linen in Murky by Picture This Plus, and I'm just using 3371, just a nice dark DMC brown. So she now has a full arm and hand, and I think, which bit is it? I think this bit here is actually the dragon. Yeah. It's that far tip of his nose. So really happy with this. Still need to get this bit done, and I'd really like to do that in May if I can. So the 3rd week of May, which is starting tomorrow, I'm going to keep working on this and try and get this bit done. I don't know if I can do that in a week, I'm not really sure, but that's what I'll be aiming for. Second week of May, it was time to start RTO's Red Mermaid, which is just beautiful. Thanks to everyone who shared their thoughts on fabrics last time. The overwhelming majority liked the linen that I showed from Colour Cascade Fabrics, Sorcerer, and yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous, but plenty of people pointed out that the bottom half of the pattern, oops, might get a bit lost because that fabric was just so, like, the colour changes between the light blue and the dark blue was so dramatic, and that part might get a bit lost, and that's actually a concern that I had. So I ended up going with plan C after all of that. And I'm using a 32 count linen from number 12 Stitchco called Outback Sky, and it's also a navy linen. It's just the difference in colour is not quite so dramatic. I know 2 people who are using Sorcerer from Colour Cascade, so same type of fabric that I showed last time, but their colour is quite different to the piece that I have, and it is a bit more uniform and not quite so light and dark, and theirs looks beautiful. So this is my start. Yeah. See how well this shows up. I remember when I stitched Time Traveller by Joan Elliott on a navy. It's always hard to show the true colours on camera. Oh, that's pretty good. So as you can see, there is, like, it's not just a solid colour, there is some differences, but it's not quite so dramatic as that other piece. I think it's going to look absolutely beautiful. I started in the middle at the top, about here, and then I realised I needed to work my way over to the top left because that's kind of my usual starting place. And then I've just kind of worked my way across. I'm not being strict about keeping to rows or anything, that's not how I stitch, but I am being careful not jumping ahead across the fabric too far because I've already had to frog multiple times and I know I'm not the only one. So it's a pattern that you just have to stitch very slowly and just really, really concentrate. Once you get the hang of it, it's fine. But yeah, when you first have a look at the instructions and the pattern and the key, there's quite a lot to take in. But taking it slow, I absolutely love it. Look at those colours. When I got to her face, I couldn't help myself and I had to stitch it all. It's not actually quite finished. There's a couple more colours to go in, but I just think she's looking beautiful. So I'm still going to work on this afternoon, I think, but then it has to go away because we're moving into week 3 in May where I'm going to pull out Mermaid's Folly again. There's a few of us who have started that piece and really, really enjoying it. If you've also started it, let me know. I'd love to see your progress. Okay, I have one more new start that's not cross-stitching. I have shown my Sushiko drawstring bag. I haven't quite finished yet, but I have washed it to get the lines out, and that did work in warm soapy water. And pretty much as soon as I started that piece, I went looking for other Sushiko projects. And I found a block of the month sort of thing where you make, eventually make it into a quilt. So I signed up for that a few months ago, and I think you get 2 months worth of stitching posted out to you every 2 months. And so the first, I don't have all the stuff here, but the first package included supplies. So you got, this is a scary, scary needle. It is rather, it looks like a weapon. And there's a small one as well. There's this special Sushiko thimble. And you just slip it over your finger and it actually sits like down here. And then you can put the needle, the eye of the needle, that end of it, against there, and you're not going to get hurt as you feed it through the fabric, push it through the fabric. And then a heap of threads, and the first month's worth of stitching I've got here. It also came with some more stuff because you start to piece the quilt together as you go. So it came with some extra fabric and things like that, and really good instructions. And the first month's worth of stitching, there's 3 blocks, and I took on the easiest one first because I am new to this craft. but it came together pretty quickly. So there's the first block. And then I think the next one I'll do is this one, which is, there's information about the patterns in the instructions too. I think this one translates to ocean waves. So that's going to be next. That is bigger. And then the third one, it's supposedly for the first month, is this one. Oh, I can't remember what this one was called. Anyway. And then I also got month 2, which has got even more in there as well. So somehow I don't think I'll keep up, but I'll pop a photo in of the final quilt. It's so pretty. I just can't wait to put that together eventually. No time frame. Alright, so let's just quickly go over some plans. So rest of the month I've got a bit more mermaid stitching to go. I am going to have another new start on not tomorrow Monday, but the following Monday, the 4th week of May. I've been eyeing off some of the primitive hair mermaids for like years and just have never got around to getting myself organised. And Jo Belushi Stitches mentioned she was going to start one for Mermania, so I thought, oh well, that's, you know, love a good start along with friends. That's a good enough excuse. So I will be starting that. I just wasn't sure if I would get everything I needed in time, but that should be getting here hopefully this week, ready for a start next Monday. I really need to try and get those stitches in on the Pilgrim and also Greenhouse of Oddities. I also have some very exciting plans, very last minute. I was kind of pressured by friends in a good way. I went to the Vic Stitches retreat last year and really enjoyed myself, and for a number of reasons I didn't think I'd be able to make it this year. Kind of last minute scramble, and I am going to be going to that. So that starts on the, I think it's the 26th of May in Shepparton, Victoria. So I can't wait. A little mini holiday. If you're going, let me know in the comments. Last year I didn't get a whole lot of stitching done. I liked wandering around and seeing what people were working on, and there was a lot of chatting, not so much stitching. So we'll see how I go this year. Maybe I'll try and get a bit more in, but that might be a good time for me to work on Pilgrim and the Greenhouse of Oddities to try and get them a little bit caught up. We'll see. So that's everything for today. I will be back in 3 weeks for my next update because I'll be away in two weekends. I'll be away in Victoria having fun with other stitchers. So I hope to see some of you there. But for everyone else, thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.